Cool. I took the alternate route last week, and I been playing Max Payne 3, like I said in my intro.
Yeah.
I played a bunch of the single player, and then I was lured into the multiplayer by Matt, our reviews guy, and I have not touched single player since I discovered the multiplayer.
Is it that good?
It's really good. Yeah, I like it a lot. And
so, what's your elevator pitch for Max Payne 3's multiplayer?
Uncharted meets GTA 4.
Yeah, I know you said that on Twitter a couple days ago.
It's pithy and it's slight, but it kind of is. It like characters control and you level up in ways that feel very much like the multiplayer elements of Uncharted, and the layout and the organization and the menus and stuff like that feel very much like GTA 4. And I know that those are both games that we've had collectively that we've had good times with. So it seems like they've kind of married those best elements in that. Of course it has team deathmatch and it has, well, it's not a capture the flag, but there's like a territory gang wars kind of element to it. There's just a lot of nuance to it. There's a lot of between matches, taking your cash that you've earned and adding an attachment to your gun and balancing out like how much weight you carry. So if you go in like with a rocket launcher and massive body armor, you can get to the point where your health recovery is super slow. Or if you just go in with no body armor and dual wield 9mm Uzis. I don't know if a 9mm Uzi is a real thing, but if you dual wield, I don't know guns, but if you dual wield Uzis, you can just tear it up. You move super fast, and your health recovers insanely quick.
That's cool. So your loadout has an effect on the actual play style.
Right, absolutely.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, and you are constantly getting XP, which allows you to level up and unlocks new access to new things that you can carry in with you. A lot of them is just sort of cosmetic customization, but beyond that, there's additional weapons and add-ons. And every time you kill somebody or a friend kills a person, even, you can search their body and pick up cash off of them. You get cash for pulling off cool kind of executions. So you can shoot dodge, you can earn bullet time so that you can do sort of slow motion.
Should probably explain that for people who haven't played the original Max Payne games, because the big selling point, or what made it different from other third-person shooters, was the fact that you could literally slow time down and dodge bullets.
Right.
It was very Matrix-esque at the time. I was a big fan of the first two Max Payne games. So you can do that in multiplayer, where you can like dodge bullets, slow down time.
Yes. Yeah.
How does that work in real time when you have other players?
Well, it impacts anybody that's sort of in your area of view. So if
Really?
you and your coworkers are actually, not coworkers, but people on your team are actually running around in a pack together, one of you can activate bullet time, and it will impact all of you as well as the people that you're attacking.
So they start to slow down?
Yeah, it slows down the screen, and it sort of, for you, it heightens your ability to move the cursor around to line up headshots and things like that. So if you combine a shoot dodge, which is you tap the right button and actually sort of launch in the direction that you're holding the stick. So if you're at the top of a flight of stairs and a guy is coming charging at you with a shotgun, you can shoot dodge and sort of fall backwards down the stairs, but you retain ability to shoot. So you can simultaneously avoid getting killed and load the other guy with bullets. And you get these great kind of cinematic, wacky moments of people flying through the air. There's a level in the game that is basically an office building, what do they call those, cubicles? A cubicle farm, essentially, and you have access to the cover system and stuff like that. So there's a number of folks on my team kind of hiding behind cover behind these cubicles, and there were people on the other team hiding behind theirs, and we're chucking grenades at each other and taking shots over the desks periodically, and like papers are flying everywhere, and the computer monitors are exploding from being shot, and it was just absolute chaos. And then two of us sort of near the edge of cover leapt out to the right, flying through the air, unloading bullets into each other, and the whole thing just felt super cinematic and cool. And yeah, it has the lockdown on that sort of John Woo mentality. I said in my preview of the game that every crazy slow motion kill from a John Woo movie that I loved during college, it feels like you have the ability to do that in Max Payne 3.
Nice.
and it's hyper fast. The whole thing goes super until you hit that button and everything slows down, and then it's just basically a game of inches, and you have to sort of get your cursor in the right place to blow somebody's head off, essentially.
I've played the single player for about 3 or 4 hours.
Absolutely.
I didn't touch the multiplayer yet, and I have to say I'm enjoying the single player. It just feels like a good throwback to the first few games. Has a very gritty, depressing film noir type of feel to the story. So
it's
I'm enjoying
awesome writing.
that.
There is dialogue and exposition in that is so vividly.
It's
written
really,
that,
I don't know. I feel like it's very downtrodden. And I mean, Max has always got a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of painkillers in his hand. So
a guy that is constantly at the end of his rope.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a dark cloud hanging over his head the entire time, and that's cool. I'm glad that's there. I had minor issues with the aiming in the game. I felt like the cursor was not. It may be my TV actually, and I wanted to ask you, but the aiming cursor. Do you find it like it's difficult to follow at times? Because I actually lost track of it a few times when I slowed down into bullet time, and it was very frustrating when I just couldn't aim very well. And I'm used to playing Max Payne games on the PC,
right?
You know, using my mouse so I can have very, very precise aiming. I don't know if it was just the translation to consoles, because you can actually, there's a toggle that you can switch to have like soft aim assist or hard aim assist, where it will like literally lock onto enemies with the press of a button. I didn't turn that on. That was boring, but I don't know. I felt it was kind of frustrating at times lining up my headshots. Whereas on the PC for the first two, I was able to do it real easy. I don't know.
I've been playing on soft lock. Which I think is kind of easy to dismiss as kind of, you know, the newbie levels, but
I've been using that too. I can't play it on regular aiming. It's just too difficult.
Yeah, and
is that just free aiming, the regular aiming?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And after you posted on Twitter that you were having trouble with the cursor, I tried to sort of be more cognizant of it as I was playing, and I didn't have any issue with it.
Maybe it's my TV.
In fact, I'm a little surprised by how good I am at Max Payne 3. There were a ton of rounds where like I was most kills, most XP player. And at the end of every team deathmatch, it shows the person's avatar on screen, and they get to sort of say some quippy little comment and stuff like that. And, you know, game after game, match after match, it was always me. And I'm like, why am I so good at this? I am never the best player at any game. And just something about it clicks with me, like the speed of it, the elegance of it. It controls kind of flawlessly. And I love the way that there are matches in it that kind of switch up your objectives. So you go from, you know, find and isolate this one player on the other team and kill them to, you know, for the next 5 minutes, you're going to claim as much territory as possible, and it will highlight areas of the map where you have to get your guys to and then defend those for a period of time. And then once you've claimed that area, it'll switch objectives again, and they'll plant a series of bombs on those areas, and you have to defuse them while defending yourselves. So there's teamwork elements to it, and just something about that rapid
that sounds really,
kind
really
of objectives. Fun. I love it. I can't stop playing it.
That's cool. I was going to ask what the actual gameplay was like. So it sounds like it's more than just deathmatch. Or
totally.
Really the other modes in GTA at this point, but yeah, sounds more like Uncharted.
I definitely want to spend some time with the multiplayer. I know I did try to play it with you, Randy, very briefly last week. We had some connection issues, and I got frustrated.
I had something I forgot to mention with Matt, too.
I forgot to mention this. One thing that I really applaud Blizzard for the way they implemented multiplayer in Diablo, it is seamless. You have a little list of your friends there, and you can click Join Game. Boom, you're in their game. 5 seconds.
Oh, nice.
In their game. Enemies get stronger. As soon as you leave their game, enemies get weaker. It's instant. They nailed that, and it kind of makes you wish that console developers would follow suit in that. You know, in games like Max Payne, like I wish I could have just highlighted your name and just boom, click join game. It would put me in the queue, and I would join your game. Unfortunately, that's not how it worked for Max Payne. So I thought that was kind of interesting between the two games, the way they implemented the multiplayer.
I think there's something about the way that my computer, well, my PS3 connects to the internet, because Matt had similar issues connecting with me, but I could connect and follow him from match to match. So there's something about my settings, I think, that is locking people out of being able to join us. And I remember I had this issue with other games, like Blur and stuff like that. So I don't know how to fix it. I don't think I'm smart enough to fix something like this, but unfortunately, it appears to be a limitation with the way that I connect that I probably should address. But yeah, I mean, I would love to play. We should play.
Let's play.
There's a great crew system where you can join up with folks, and if you play games with them, with people who are on your crew, you earn extra XP for that. Yeah, if you're listening to our podcast now and have been playing Max Payne on the PS3, definitely should join our crew. I'll put a link in the show notes, or just go to the ROCKSTAR Social Club and look for Video Game Hangover. You'll find us, but it's cool. It's nice. And those crews will carry into GTA 5 as well, which I definitely will be playing. So
I've got to say, it sounds pretty fun, especially the multiplayer, but
it's a really good time.
I've got the first 2 Max Payne sitting on Steam collecting Steam dust, and then got Starhawk and Diablo 3 otherwise occupying my time. I don't know if I can fit it into my schedule, but I'm definitely looking forward to GTA 5. I hope some of this will carry over into that multiplayer.
Yeah, there's there's so much fun stuff to it. If you start sort of digging through the menus between matches and realizing all the stuff that you've unlocked and the way that you can customize your character and little perks you can bring in with you. There's a perk you can unlock that you can carry extra painkillers, which allows you to live longer. There's a perk that they sort of launch in 3 separate levels, where if you get a certain number of XP, you get a level 1, which allows you to have armor-piercing bullets for 30 seconds. And then level 2 of that unlocks a heavy machine gun until you run out of bullets. And level 3 of that is a grenade launcher until you run out of grenades. So it's just... It allows you to sort of change on the fly the degree of chaos that you're bringing into it. So like that match that I was sort of tearing shit up in the office building, I finally got to the level 3 of that thing. And while everybody was taking shots with each other with, little machine guns and stuff like that, I suddenly come rolling out with a grenade launcher and, blowing chunks of cubicles in the air and stuff. And it was, again, the sense of chaos in the game is just admirable. I love it. I think it's a good time.
Let's play.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Right now. Let's take a break.
We'll be back.
I do want to play it. I mean, it sounds awesome. I just wish my first initial introduction to the multiplayer wasn't so tainted by those stupid random connection issues, because it sounds like a really, really good time.
I'm
enjoying the single player a lot. It's fun. In fact, I want to go back to it.
Yeah, I need to get into that too, and maybe I'll sort of save comment on that until next week. But yeah, I probably should be able to finish it before next week too. So.